Believe it or not, the summer holiday is almost over, and parents are doing last-minute shopping to ensure that you, the students, are comfortable when school resumes. Coming up, tips on buying textbooks, and later, a little history lesson about a cultural display to mark the 50-year relationship between Jamaica and the Asian country of Japan. I'm Adrian Atkinson. You're in for a wonderful treat during this Friday edition of Jamaica Magazine. Stay with me as we kickstart the weekend together.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Friday, August 22. The IMF staff mission to Jamaica has confirmed that the country passed the fifth quarterly test under the Extended Fund Facility. The team has been in the island since August 13 and presented their findings at a press briefing Friday morning. Andrea Chisholm has the story.
The program is on track. Overall, policy implementation under the program remains strong. All quantitative performance targets, indicative targets, and structural benchmarks for end June were met.
That was the head of the IMF mission to Jamaica, Yankees Martin, confirming Jamaica's positive performance for the April to June quarter. That information will be passed on to the IMF's executive board, which will assess the findings in September, and if accepted, Jamaica will get about $71 million more under the program. With the fifth review completed, Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips says the government will place more emphasis on strengthening growth, increasing investor confidence, and creating jobs.
The government of Jamaica is committed to continuing the extensive program of reforms, of tax and public sector financial management, of the public sector modernization, of labor market reforms, all of which are important elements of the program going forward.
The head of the IMF mission to Jamaica also indicated that the government was on track to achieve a primary surplus target of 7.5% of the country's gross domestic product. For GIS News, I'm Andrea Chisholm.
The Ministry of Health is advising persons against traveling to the Ebola-affected areas of Liberia, Nigeria, Guinea, and Sierra Leone in West Africa for entertainment and other similar purposes. Minister of Health Dr. Fenton Ferguson points out that travel to these areas puts these individuals, their families, and other Jamaicans at risk of contracting the deadly virus, which has a death rate of up to 90%. On Friday, August 8, the World Health Organization declared Ebola a public health emergency of international concern. The virus is transmitted through direct contact with blood, other bodily fluids or secretions, and symptoms include sudden onset of fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, rash, impaired kidney and liver function, and in some cases, both internal and external bleeding. Any individual who believes he or she has been exposed to the virus should seek immediate medical treatment and reduce contact with other persons as much as possible. The Ministry of Education says everything is in place to ensure a smooth start to the new school year, which begins on Monday, September 1. Speaking at a JIS think tank on Wednesday, Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean said every action was being taken to ensure that all primary and secondary schools were adequately prepared.
I'm pleased to say that all high schools' accounts are now funded with the tuition and maintenance grants Primary schools are funded with their first term grants as well.
Dr. McLean is also reminding school administrators that students should not be disbarred from attending classes because of non-payment of auxiliary fees. She says the internal tuition grants and auxiliary fee structures for the 2014-2015 academic year should also remain the same as last year.
No changes should be made within our schools unless approval has been given for specific reasons.
Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has sent out a cease and desist call for those schools that are withholding students' CSEC and CAPE results due to financial delays. The ministry is also insisting that administrators stop charging exorbitant costs for a number of back-to-school services.
At such a sensitive and difficult period, we are asking you not to withhold student CSEC and CAPE results or even registration packages that we are being told that schools are charging significant amount. Some schools are even withholding the book lists and asking parents to pay before they can get necessary documents to prepare their children for the new school year. We have seen the trend, it is worrying, and we are asking our school administrators to desist from doing this, but we are also asking our parents to be responsible and to fulfill their obligation.
And finally, 1,000 families registered on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH are to participate in a Welfare to Work program over the next 2 years. Labour and Social Security Minister Derek Kelly says the program will be implemented on a phased basis and it should cost approximately $600 million. He made the announcement while addressing representatives from the Organization of American States, OAS, and CARICOM.
As a government, we want to see PATH beneficiaries ultimately position themselves to participate effectively in the labour market and contribute to the national growth agenda.
The OAS CARICOM team is conducting a 3-day study tour of PATH. Their intention is to help implement similar social protection programs in their home countries of Antigua, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Some water with you, please.
Water gone. But me need water for cook. So how me go wash?
Let's weather the drought. Start conservation measures today. Check for leaks around your house. Opt for shorter showers over long baths. Reuse water to water plants and lawn. Watch the amount of water you and your family use. Try cooking methods that don't require much water. And if you have a vehicle, avoid washing it regularly. Remember, water is as important as the air we breathe. So conserve our water, conserve our life.
Parents and guardians are now in back-to-school mode, finalizing arrangements for children to travel to and from school, dotting the I's and crossing the T's at various schools, and of course, purchasing those well-needed books. The Ministry of Education is on a mission to ensure that parents and guardians do not spend unnecessarily. Check out these guidelines for purchasing textbooks.
It's that time of year again when parents are busy shopping for back-to-school items. And topping the lists each year are the well-needed textbooks, which can get quite pricey. Well, the Ministry of Education has put in place a new textbook policy, along with some guidelines to help you cut the costs.
For the first time, the Ministry of Education has reviewed all book lists from the school and will be approving the list of books for schools to give parents to purchase at different grades. No book lists are to be issued by schools unless approved by the Ministry of Education.
That policy has set the stage for schools and parents to clamp down on the exorbitant cost of many of the books assigned to students each year.
We want to give our parents a fair opportunity to spend on what is necessary for their children's education.
This is bolstered by the fact that the ministry already provides the core books needed for schools at both the primary and secondary level. In fact, $900 million was awarded to the textbook program this year to replace lost or destroyed books within the school system. But for those parents that still need to buy,
we're giving some guidelines
Parents should not be spending more than an average of $5,000 on supplementary texts at the primary level and about $12,000 at the grades 7 to 9 levels at the secondary schools.
Yes, we did a survey in May of this year, and we came up with those ceiling of 5,000 and 12,000. And we are seeing a few, perhaps plus or minus 5 to 10%, but it is not significant. What we do not want is to see a 50% or 100% over the guidelines.
For now, there are no restrictions at grades 10 and 11. As part of the new textbook policy, the Education Ministry has developed a master list of supplementary textbooks and has sent that to schools for them to issue to parents.
We have collected the textbook lists from all the institutions across Jamaica from grades 1 to 6 and grades 7 to 9. We did a comprehensive review of these lists and we developed a popular list. Once these books are reviewed, they are placed on a supplementary list for the primary level as well as a supplementary list for the secondary level.
And that's the list parents should be given. To get the list, simply go online, click on the Ministry of Education's website, then click on Approved Textbooks and scroll down for all the information. It is from that supplementary book list that you can then compare your book list in order to find out if what your child's school has given you is in line with the ministry's regulations. This is the first year of its rollout, and already the ministry-approved supplementary book list has led to a reduction in the number of textbooks needed at each level. School officials and parents are attesting to the benefits of the new policy, like Hortense Dolphy, whose child is about to start grade 4. Her daughter received a book scholarship from Almond Town Primary, and school officials are declaring that they were able to get all the necessary books from the ministry's supplementary list within range of what the ministry stipulated.
These books, they value about $6,000, which is really in range with what the minister is saying, and we'll work with it. We appreciate it. Thank you.
As you conduct your textbook shopping, check out the annual school textbook survey on the Consumer Affairs Commission website.
When parents are about to go shopping, they can stay at home, contact us. Either they go on our website or call us if they want to do a comparison of prices within their parish, within the city, like for instance Kingston. We can do that kind of comparison based on textbook titles and publishers and so on. So we would ask consumers, if they so choose, that they can call us before they go shopping to find out exactly what are the best prices on particular textbooks, and we will help them with that.
So you see, the government is making it much easier and affordable for you to meet your textbook shopping needs. And if you think your book list is still too long, then heed the advice.
Take the book list to our regional offices or our central offices. Let us look at those book lists and let us see if they meet the guidelines.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think. Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act. Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
As the youngsters get back in the frame of mind for school, adults have to make a conscious decision to teach them the importance of money and its uses. I'm sure the children have a basic idea, and we invite them to get more information on the subject from their peers.
Ask a child where money comes from, and you'll get all kinds of answers.
Trees, Mommy's purse, Daddy's pocket.
Okay, let's try to find the correct response.
Money comes from the mint.
A mint is where people make money to give to other people.
Adults earn money by working for other people or setting up their own businesses. When they get that money, it may be placed in a bank account. Then,
they withdraw money from the ATM.
That money is called
a salary. They use it to pay their bills, they use it to buy food for the family. They use it to make sure that everybody has what they need.
Now mom and dad have to budget their money. You can do that too.
A budget is how you plan to spend money and how you earn it and how the money that you earn and spend.
You create a budget by setting up things to say that, all right, I need this stuff and I don't need that stuff. So I will buy this stuff that I really need, and that's how you create a budget.
Do you guys budget? You do? What do you budget? What type of expenses do you possibly have to budget for? Tell me.
For example, since I get my allowance every week, I budget it. Like I have some for save. I have 3 envelopes, one for save, one for spend, and one for give.
Right.
I put the give in. I put some. I say, for example, I have $300. I get $300, so I put $100 in give, $100 in spend, and $100 in save. And that's how I budget my money. So when I want to buy something, I look in my spend box to see if I have enough money. And if it's going to clear me out, I know I'm not going to spend it.
Oh, okay.
And for give, I would give it to churches or the Salvation Army. Mommy gives me money to spend for my spend, like for food and other costs. And I budget how much money I'm going to spend for how much water I need to buy, how much food, what food I'm going to eat, and what exact restaurant.
What about you, Tahi? Do you budget?
Yes, I would budget every day, and every time if I want to go to a movie, I would budget it, what I would want to spend.
Now, what values we teach our children is up to the household they're raised in.
We would budget everything we do. If mom asks me what do I want, I would say I would want nachos, and she would withdraw some money. She would have it saved, and she would give me the money. All right, she would be like, all right, this is your allowance. You use this. You buy what you want, and I buy what I want.
Okay, but you can't have everything. You have to choose what you want.
Yes, and if I have change, I save it.
How does the government get money?
They trade with other countries, and they get money by selling or produce like bauxite and those that they used to make aluminum. And they have tourism that they use to invite tourists over to Jamaica for there to spend their foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange is money from other countries like Canadian or US dollars or the pound sterling.
So apart from tourism and bauxite and getting foreign exchange, Tahid, which other way does the government get money?
Taxes.
Right. You have any example of any tax?
GCT, environmental taxes, educational taxes.
Where do you pay GCT normally?
In a store.
All right, so you maybe go to the supermarket or so, and you pay the GCT.
Government spends money to improve the country, to fix roads, care for the sick, run schools, and a number of other things.
What's the difference between a piggy bank and an actual bank?
You do not get interest in your piggy bank, you get interest in the bank.
Right.
And interest is something they put onto your money so it can get larger.
The actual bank and the piggy bank. The piggy bank now,
you can't actually grow any money from it, but the bank, it adds money on it gradually.
Children, this money thing isn't so hard to understand after all, don't it? Talk to an adult about it and read books that will carefully explain the world of money.
The call to action is for parents to start considering seriously, how can I practice money management in my own life for the sake of my child getting it right? And from that point on, the reinforcement comes, the second thing is to reinforce it with the child. Simply, when you go to the grocery store, one of the ways in which you can start is to take a simple budget with you and show your child that you live within your means.
When using an automated banking machine ABM, ensure the machine is in a location you are comfortable with. And when you enter, be sure to close the door. Examine the machine before you insert your debit card, and never enter your card if the machine has a suspicious device attached to it. More important, don't allow strangers to assist you in conducting a transaction. And remember, treat your debit card like cash. Keep it in a safe place.
A good education is not only about math and English. Knowledge of history and other cultures is also important. Find out more about the Japan Kingdom of Characters, used to mark 50 years of diplomatic relations between Jamaica and Japan.
Hi and welcome to another edition of the Arts Page. We're here on the Kingston Waterfront National Gallery, to be exact, to celebrate 50 years of Japan-Jamaica relations, and in commemoration of that golden milestone, the Japanese government has a little treat for us. So let's see what they have.
It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the press screening of Japan Kingdom of Characters animation exhibition. I hope you can find your favorite Japanese characters in the exhibition and understand the connotation of the pop culture side of Japan.
A traveling showcase for Jamaica-Japan relations at 50. Organized by the Asian country's cultural arm, the Japan Foundation, the exhibit aims at deepening the bonds of friendship between Jamaica and Japan through cultural exchange. And all access has been granted to the Jamaican public through the National Gallery of Jamaica.
I'm very excited about this exhibition. I mean, it's very different from what we normally do, but it is something which is very important culturally in Japan. Of course, as this exhibition illustrates, but which also has a tremendous following in Jamaica. So it is a good opportunity to think about the cultural dynamics between Jamaica and Japan.
From Astro Boy of the 1950s to Pokemon of the 2000s, the exhibit provides a comprehensive look at Japan's love of characters. Tour guides at the National Gallery of Jamaica have armed themselves with all the answers to your questions, so don't be shy to ask them about the exhibit. Since 1964, the Jamaican and the Japanese governments have been engaged in diplomatic relations which span various areas, so it was only natural that cultural exchange would take place. A half a century on, Jamaica's popularity in Japan is seen through reggae and dancehall music, Blue Mountain Coffee, and Red Stripe Bear. In turn, Jamaica has seen an increase in the prominence of Japanese animation, manga, and characters influencing our youth. We see it in the cartoons, stuffed animals, stationery, video games, and even the style of dress. And now, Jamaicans can get a chance to view Japan's modern pop culture in a more accessible and tangible form right here on the island.
Everybody's laughing, even the sun is smiling.
I hope many people, especially younger generation, knows about these Japanese characters. They originated from Japan.
And from all indications, everyone seems to be happy with the exhibit.
Amazing.
Hello Kitty. Thank you.
Everybody say Hello Kitty.
I think it's a wonderful exhibition for families to visit, because there's something for the children and for the adults. And it really is an exhibition which I hope will also bring people to the gallery who have never been here before.
It was very interesting for me because my grandchildren talk about Hello Kitty, the Dragon Ball Z, and I hadn't realized that all these were Japanese characters.
I think it's appropriate. I think it's appropriate because it really goes to the people level. It's about the culture of the people. And I can tell it's already very educational. A number of persons weren't aware that Hello Kitty was a Japanese character. They thought it was elsewhere. My daughter, as you can see, loves it, loves Hello Kitty. And to link it now with Japan, I think gives it a different dimension. The same is true for some of us as adults. We didn't know as well that it was Japanese.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, Bolt and a Sapa.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think that's so? We reach our aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can. Treat the youths right.
I'm Mario Mackenzie, Robin, captain of the Calabar High Track team. And me have a message for anybody who plan to take the tablet them, but the government give the scholars for use in class. You never hear so them break the tablet them. That mean anywhere the tablets there, the government can shut them down. Plus GPS tracker installing of them. And even if you find a way, and you go around all of that, the minute you go up on the internet, them are going to know. So here what you do. Just leave the youth them with the tablet. Give them a chance to further them education. Makes sense, done.
And that's it for this Friday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. View these and other features from our program at jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter at JIS News and send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Another program comes your way tomorrow. Until then, do take care and thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.